78 Sports TV here. Salute to the mighty LDBC. Smash the like button and hit the subscribe. Turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I drop a new video. And if you're digging the video, please share the video and hype the video. You dig? Check it out, man. Terence Bud Crawford. So the word on the street is coming fresh off of whooping Saul Canelo Alvarez. After stomping on Canelo Alvarez, Terence Crawford sets his sights on the middleweight division. He's looking at Janibek. Now, Janibek is one of the title holders who many people feel to be the best at 160 pounds. There's also reports out there that Terence Crawford is interested in fighting Carlos Adames. Now, Terence Crawford can go from fighting someone as big as Canelo and be humble enough and hungry enough to go down to middleweight, pick up a belt there, and fight a guy who's good, but it doesn't have the star power of like a Canelo. Terence Crawford is the best of both worlds, y'all. He's a throwback fighter. This is an old school fighter. This is a straight G, okay? Fighters today just don't do stuff like this. Only a couple of fighters doing stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? You know? It's only a couple of fighters in boxing that's willing to go from fighting a Canelo Alvarez making all that money and then fight a Janibek. You know what I'm saying? And Janibek is a stone cold killer. You know what I mean? And Crawford willing to fight him. Right? Now, Terence Crawford, if he picks up a middleweight title, he would be a champion in, let me see, 135, 140, 147, 154, 168, 160. So if he picks up a championship at 160, he will be a champion in 6 different weight classes, y'all. 6 different weight classes. And only a few boxers in history have done that. And then on top of that, if he becomes undisputed at 160, he will be the only fighter in history. I say he will be the only fighter in history to be undisputed in 4 weight divisions. 140, 147, 168, and 160. Lord have mercy. And maybe by that time, if he can pull that off, if he pull off undisputed at 160, hopefully by that time, them guys at 154 would have figured out their stuff and gotten that together so Crawford can go down there and pick up that one. Man, look, man, this dude, Crawford, really, literally has it within his grasp to be the greatest fighter of all time. He has it within, it's within his reach. See what I'm saying? It's not too far away. If politics don't get involved, which it might in boxing, because Crawford is a free agent, that could help or hurt him. You know what I'm saying? Well, he's working with Turkey. He's not really a free agent, but you know what I'm saying. He's not signed to one of the old school promoters. So that could help him or hurt him. But if the guys at 154 do what they're supposed to do, if the guys at 160 don't play keep away with Crawford, and they go out here and they step up like men and fight, man, look here. Terence Crawford is on a mission. He's already in my top 5 greatest pound for pound fighters in boxing history. I repeat, he's already in my top 5 pound for pound greatest boxers in history. Now, like I say, I always got to put this disclaimer up there because, you know, people, you know, no, I disagree, man. Bro, it's subjective. You can disagree all you want. I'm not offended by you disagreeing. You know what I'm saying? You can disagree all you want. It's all subjective. However, I have different lists. I have a greatest fighters of all time list, and I have a greatest fighters pound for pound list. Now, when I say pound for pound, that's designated to guys that are not heavyweights. That's designated to guys that have moved through multiple weight classes and they have a skill set that transcends weight class, right? So, you know, guys like Floyd Mayweather Jr., guys like Henry Armstrong, guys like Sam Langford, you know what I'm saying? Sugar Ray Robinson, of course, who the pound for pound list was invented for, Terence Crawford, Manny Pacquiao, you know, all that stuff. You know, that's pound for pound. Roy Jones Jr., James Lights Out, Tony, you dig? You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about, pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? He was a bad joker at 160, and then he was a bad joker at heavyweight. Like where did they do that at? You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by pound for pound. Now, if I'm talking about the greatest fighters of all time, regardless of weight class, regardless of pound for pound, now we talking about Muhammad Ali, Jack Johnson, Joe Louis, you dig? And along with the other fighters I just mentioned on pound for pound, right? But now I can include heavyweights. That's just my own personal preference, my own personal list. I'm not telling nobody else how they gotta do their list. That's just mine, you know what I mean? How I choose to do mine. But anyway, yeah. But anyway, I was a little bit disappointed. A little bit disappointed in hearing the news that Virgil Ortiz and his team are looking elsewhere other than Ortiz-Boots. And I see a lot of people in my chat coming around trying to justify this, man. Nope, I'm sorry. Nope, not finna do it. That man sat right there and called Boots out in front of the whole world, and 5 minutes later, he behind the scenes talking about Earl Spencer, some other mess. Nah, bruh, I'm not with it. I'm not co-signing it. I don't agree with none of those types of, none of that type of behavior. I don't agree with it. You know what I mean? You gotta be a man of your word, you know? And I like Virgil Ortiz. I think he's an excellent fighter. He impressed me with his last couple of performances, and I like his attitude. I think Virgil Ortiz is a stand-up dude. Seemed like a cool dude, but I think he's under pressure from his team to fight somebody else. I think people around him, and it's just my opinion, I think people around Virgil Ortiz are trying to milk him and for as much as they can get, because they know that it's a risk that he loses to Boots. He could possibly lose to Boots, right? That's a 50-50 fight, right? So if he could possibly lose to Boots, why not put him in with a guy like Earl Spencer? We can make a bunch of money. Earl ain't fought since Mary had Jesus. So let's go ahead and put him. The advantage is in our favor, right? And it's gonna sell out. It's gonna make plenty of money. They already know this. So this is just politics now. Oh, let's fight Sebastian Fundora in Texas. You know, anything but Ortiz-Boots in it. Now, if y'all didn't want to fight Boots, y'all should have been mad enough to say, hey, man, Boots, we're going to fight you, but just not right now. We want to get this bread. Okay? And at least you was honest. Even if people said that was weak, at least you was honest. But I don't like the scaredy cat stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't like it. You know what I mean? So now, we going to need Virgil Ortiz or Ortiz-Boots in us or Sebastian Fundora or whoever it's going to be to take over 154 and become undisputed at 154, okay? Go and get that out the way so Terence Crawford can come see about y'all maybe sometime next year. You know what I'm saying? I don't know when Crawford gonna retire. You know what I mean? I don't know when Crawford is gonna retire. I don't know what his schedule look like. He might fight 2 or 3 more times just to become undisputed at 160. But the thing is, if he fights 2 or 3 more times and becomes undisputed at 160 and makes history, then I'm sure if Boots or one of them other guys are undisputed at 154, I'm sure Terence Crawford will go back down to 154 and pick up that other one, or try to pick up the other one, you know what I'm saying? You never know if he's going to be able to beat, you know, all these guys or not, you know what I mean? You know, as you get older, you never know. Your body starts changing. You know, all it takes is you to slow down just a little bit. I've seen it happen to Roy Jones. Roy Jones in his prime, people was missing him by an inch. They was just missing him by an inch. His reflexes were like a cat reflexes, you know what I'm saying? Roy was a bad joker, man. And like one of the baddest pound fighters I ever seen in my life. When Roy had a 10-year run where he couldn't be touched, bro. Couldn't be faded. You know what I'm saying? And then, man, when the reflexes slowed down, it was like, man, that was it. Like, all them punches people used to miss him with, they was landing. Bam, bam, bam. And it's just, man, it just was all bad at that point. And I hate to see that happen to Terence Crawford or any of these guys. That's why I don't want these guys to stick around too long. You know what I'm saying? Let me slow down. Slow down, not here. But yeah, I don't want that to happen to none of the fighters that I like. You know, to get themselves in no trouble, man. Sticking around too long, but you know, we'll see what happens here, man. I'm rooting for Terence Crawford to make history and become undisputed at 160. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man, of Terence Crawford willingness to fight Carlos Adama, Yannick, and all these guys at 160. 78 Sports TV, salute to the mighty LDBC. I'm up out here though. Deuces.